Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dr. Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we're going to be talking about all of the new banners that are coming out this week, and we're going to be talking about the new VC and Esper as well, and try to figure out whether or not you should be pulling. Now, thanks to the data mine coming early, we do have access to see what the banners are that are coming out this week. So let's go ahead and go over what we are going to be expecting to see. Basically, we're going to see kind of the normal, which would be a 10k step up with Blossoms in the Dark guaranteed. We're going to see a New Year's Esper summon. We're going to see a 10k step up Downtime guaranteed. And just a general pull for the Tonberry card. Now, I personally don't think these cards are crazy worth pulling for. I think maybe the only one worth pulling for is Blossom, but I do know that everybody wants to know what's coming out. So we are going to do a quick breakdown of everything that is included, and I'll kind of go over why I think they are or are not really good to pull on. First, let's talk about the Tonberry card and the Tonberry Esper. First thing you're going to notice is that his max stats, he only has 12 agility, which is a little bit of a bummer. That's the first thing I always look at when I think about Espers. Coming through here, he does have an AP of 29. He has really low attack, a little bit of a higher magic, but pretty low statted Esper. In terms of what he has on his board, he does have paralyzed resistance, water killer resistance. He does have magic attack up. He has Reaper killer / resistance. So in a way, he's almost like a mini Diablos without the magic up, right? Because you can hit magic attack up, you can hit / resistance up. He's not the best Esper out there, but he's not the worst. And I wish they would have done him a little bit more justice, but what can I say, right? I think the one thing that's pretty unique about him and is unique about a lot of the MR kind of hybrid-esque Espers is that he does have water resistance 5%. So a lot of the times on mono element Espers, or I guess they're all mono element, but on primary Espers, you'll see that they only have the 10% weakness. But Tonberry actually has the 5% resistance, so he is going to be kind of a water resistant Esper to consider in the future. It's very similar to how they made Ochu, right? Ochu was a very interesting Esper in terms of being able to spec into all of the different resistances. In terms of the VC, though, I do think this is going to be worth leveling. I think everybody should have a magic resistance card. Gives magic resistance 15, and it gives disable resistance 15% for the individual unit. Interestingly enough, unlike the Esper, this is actually an attack-oriented card. So you're going to see 94 attack, and it actually gets AP 25 on there. So keep this in mind. This is going to be really good for countering Dwayne, right, with that 15% disable resistance. With a low enough faith, you might even be able to completely null Dwayne's disable. So I think this is a card where, you know, if you don't have any way to counter Dwayne and you happen to pull it in, you know, either our free UR pull this week or whatever it is, you should probably level it. It's going to have a very niche use, but when you don't have it and you need it, right, when you're going up against like a random Frederica and Dwayne team, for example, you're going to wish you had it. So I think this card is going to be a keeper. The magic resistance 15%, if you didn't have time to invest in Fenrir, is really powerful as well. So this card is like, it's like a tool to put in your toolkit if you don't have the time to invest in Fenrir or max out the Fenrir VC. This is going to be really powerful for you. For those of you who are either whales or krakens and you're like, oh, I already have Fenrir, the only thing this is really going to do for you is offer you the disable resistance, which I still think makes it good enough to max out if you do pull it. Now, let's talk about Downtime. Downtime is one of the UR cards that's coming out. 126 attack, 288 HP, 78 magic. It's going to give the individual unit 10% area resistance. Glaciella is going to get plus 10 defense. Cadia is going to get 200 decreases activation time. And for the party-wide effects, you're going to get HP plus 15%. And you're going to get ice resistance plus 12%. This card is really interesting, and I would say probably the most interesting unit it's for is Glaciella. I think it's interesting because it gives Glaciella both defense and area resistance if you do have it on her, while giving the party ice resistance and HP up, which is pretty important in a meta where there's a lot of ice units. I think this is not killer though. This is not game-changing, right? HP up has never really been seen as a game-changing card. Ice resistance, while powerful, it's only 12%, so you might actually be better off using another card that maybe offers, like, you know, Odin with single attack resistance 20. That way, you know, yeah, it's a tough call. This card does not sell me on it. If there was one selling point, it would probably be for Glaciella if I wanted to go for a tank Glaciella. But really, I mean, Glaciella has so much slash attack resistance. I don't know. I don't think this is crazy good. It's kind of just like simmering on the back burner compared to the other card that came out, Blossoms in the Dark. So let's talk about Blossoms in the Dark, because I think Blossoms in the Dark is a underestimated card. I'm not going to pull on it right now. That's not my plan to pull this. However, I think if you are planning for the future, this could be the most important VC that comes out for a while. Why do I say that? Well, because this is the first card that's going to offer Magic Maneater, right? So that's going to be 25% Magic Maneater. Up until this point, we've only had a few ways to modify magic attacks. That's going to be plus magic percent, plus magic attack, that's going to be plus elemental, right? So that would be like Red Chocobo's plus 20 light attack. This is going to be another modification that you can stack onto your magic attacks, which makes it really valuable, right? This is a modifier that has not really existed unless you can either just get Man Killer from like Odin, for example, for magic users, and it's party wide. So if you are someone who's planning on running a magic comp, this could be really powerful. If you're planning on running Skull with the magic attack plus 20 for him, really powerful as well. Ruenjah is a 260% modifier attack. That is a very powerful spell. And the cast time is 280 at max. That's really good. That's faster than Flare, for those of you that don't know. So this is a really powerful card. And this card is one where we're only going to see it being used more in the future. Now, people are going to ask, you know, why are you saying in the future? Why aren't you saying right now? Well, right now the meta is almost completely ice units, dark units, evasion, right? But in the future, we're going to see a lot more magic units come out that are really powerful. You all know about Yuna, but let's go ahead and talk about a few of them. We do have, of course, Swimsuit Ketone, which has been rumored to be coming out in Global. Hints were dropped. We don't know if it's going to be the week after next, possibly, but it's going to pair really well with Rune Knight abilities. It's going to pair really well with Kododama abilities. Let's go ahead and jump into the Kododama abilities, since most people probably don't know what Kododama is. It's kind of a new class that's coming out. It's going to have 100% sure hit attacks here. You can see all modified by magic. And then we got magic in the off abilities. And then, of course, we have Rune Knight for Drain Evoke, which is probably the only ability that's really going to modify for Drain Evoke here. And then, of course, we have Sub Ninja, which it's not going to modify anything. Now, in addition to Ketone or any Kododama classes that are going to be coming out, I think probably the most dominant unit in the future that we're going to be getting is going to be Sakura, right? Now, Sakura is a very powerful unit that is modified by both almost all magic, lightning, and light element attacks. So we're going to see Sakura be really dominant all the way through Yuna, right? She's a light element unit who's very powerful. We're going to see her paired with Elzral, or whatever her name is, the Sleepy Girl. So there's a lot of units that are coming, or a lot of magic units that are coming that could benefit from having this modifier, right? And if you think about Yuna, if you think about, you know, Sakura, if you're running a 5-man composition with them, having Magical Maneater is going to be pretty important. I would say less so for a 3-man composition, since 3-man compositions are going to be probably focused on Trousseau, Rama, and maybe Area of Effect Resistance, or a single unit card like Bahamut to give light modification. But this card will definitely be useful and particularly in PvE content, I think it's going to be very powerful. That said, I'm not chasing it right now because I really don't think this is a must-have yet. Ruenjah, though, I mean, Ruenjah's powerful. I could see pulling for Ruenjah, but I also wonder if anything could be killed with Ruenjah, if it wouldn't just be killed by Flare. Kind of, you know, a question to weigh here. There's a lot to kind of ask, and I think, you know, we never know what direction the global meta might be shifting. I don't know. It's a tough call. Either way, I'm going to say hold off this week on pulling. We might have swimsuit units next week anyway, which a lot of people are going to want, right? I would say if the swimsuit units don't come out next week, you know, have at it. If you want to pull this card, pull this card. But, I mean, there's so many good units coming down the pipeline, so many good VC, that I think there's, you know, VC that are just flat superior to this, particularly with the combinations that you're going to be running. Let's go ahead and pull up the VC list for JP here, and we'll just kind of go over some of the VC that are coming. Oh, my WoTV calc is not loading. It looks like it's done. But basically, where my mind is going, right, is Bahamut. Like, Bahamut's coming out. That's going to be a way bigger priority than this. Do I really need this VC right now? Not really. Anyway, everyone, if you do want to support me, make sure you use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins, or you can go to dig.gs/discord and hang out with us and talk with us. As always, guys, we did use WoTV calc for our video, so make sure you go to WoTV calc and support Bismarck, the creator of that. He is an amazing gentleman, and we have loved him for a very long time. Thank you so much, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.